From the moment this story hit the internet, fans have been spiraling into chaos, trying to piece together what really went down behind the scenes. Because apparently, while the world thought Nicki Minaj and Cardi B were sworn enemies locked in a never-ending feud, the real shocker isn't about their past rivalry at all, it's about who Nicki just came out supporting, and who she shaded so hard the internet stopped breathing for a second. Emotions ran high, stan armies went into meltdown mode, and the hip-hop world found itself smack in the middle of a drama explosion no one saw coming. Sources inside the industry claim that Nicki didn't just back Cardi B during her latest relationship storm, she allegedly exposed Offset too, calling him out in a way that fans are still replaying in disbelief. And if you thought the rumors were exaggerated, wait till you hear the words she supposedly used, the accusations she threw, and the way Offset reacted when he found out. Friends were stunned, the family was left divided, and social media erupted with theories faster than anyone could refresh their feed. Trust me, you're going to want to hear every twist of this. Everyone in the alternate universe music world was already buzzing after the mysterious late-night posts that seemed to hint at something brewing between the fictional Nicki, the fictional Cardi, and the fictional Offset. But nobody expected the kind of emotional storm that was about to unfold, the kind that leaves everyone dizzy, confused, and constantly refreshing social feeds. The fictional Nicki had been quiet lately, almost too quiet, watching the chaos from the sidelines as fans debated what her next move would be. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, she stepped into the spotlight, bringing with her a wave of tension that practically shook the ground beneath the fandoms. It all began when the fictional Cardi showed up at a private industry event, looking like she'd just walked through a hurricane, not the weather kind, but the emotional kind. Her friends whispered among themselves, trying to figure out what had happened. Was it another argument at home? Another public misunderstanding turned private crisis? Nobody knew for sure, but what they did know was that she didn't want to talk about it. She sat at the far end of the room, quiet, sipping her drink like every thought was crashing into her at once. Then the fictional Nicki walked in. The room went silent. Not because they hated each other in this universe, in fact, their rivalry had always been more fans than reality, but because everyone could feel something massive was about to drop. The fictional Nicki approached slowly, her heels tapping softly on the polished floor. Some people held their breath, expecting conflict, expecting old wounds to open, expecting some dramatic showdown. But instead, she simply sat down beside the fictional Cardi. "You look tired," she said softly, almost too softly for someone with her usual bravado. "What happened?" The fictional Cardi didn't want to answer at first. She stared ahead, trying to hold herself together, but her voice broke as she whispered, "I'm just tired of dealing with people who pretend they're lifting me up while they're really dragging me down." The fictional Nicki raised an eyebrow, her expression sharpening with interest. "Who's dragging you down?" The answer didn't come immediately, just a painful silence that made the people around them exchange uneasy glances. But the fictional Nicki already had a suspicion. She'd watched from afar, she'd heard things, whispered from mutual friends, from people who cared, from people who didn't but loved gossip. She had seen patterns. And if her suspicion was right, she wasn't going to stay silent anymore. "You don't have to tell me," the fictional Nicki said after a moment. "I already know." The fictional Cardi looked at her, startled. "You do?" "Yeah," the fictional Nicki replied quietly. "And trust me, you deserve better than someone who leans on you like you're a whole ladder while acting like he's doing you a favor. Someone who drains your energy but gives you nothing in return." Several people's eyes widened. Though she never said any name aloud, the implication was hanging in the air like thick fog. The fictional Offset wasn't present, but his presence could be felt, looming like a shadow behind everything. The fictional Cardi's hand shook a little as she held her drink. Her voice trembled too. "I don't know what to do anymore." The fictional Nicki leaned closer and said with a level of sincerity that caught everyone off guard, "You walk away from anyone who treats you like a resource more than a partner." Those words hit like a spark to dry wood. Some people tried to pretend they weren't listening, others exchanged knowing looks, and a few whispered that this moment would change everything. But it didn't end there. Later that night, after the event ended and most guests had left, the fictional Cardi and fictional Nicki stayed behind in a private lounge. The room was dim, the music soft, and the mood heavy, with everything unspoken. The fictional Cardi sighed deeply and said, "Everyone thinks I'm strong, but they don't understand how exhausting it is to always be the strong one." "Strength doesn't mean letting people walk all over you," the fictional Nicki replied. "Strength can mean choosing yourself first." There was a pause, a long one. And then, a twist nobody expected. The fictional Offset walked in. He wasn't supposed to be there, not according to the event list, not according to anyone's predictions. He walked in with that confident sway that usually made the fictional Cardi soften, but tonight she stiffened the moment she saw him. The fictional Nicki crossed her arms, eyes narrowing ever so slightly, prepared for whatever was coming. "Cardi, we need to talk," the fictional Offset said, sounding frustrated. "You didn't answer my calls." Maybe she didn't want to, the fictional Nicki cut in smoothly before the fictional Cardi could speak. He shot her a glare. "This isn't your business." "It became my business," she replied calmly, "when I saw how upset she was because of you." The tension in the room skyrocketed. The fictional Offset took a step closer, and the fictional Cardi instinctively took a step back. That tiny movement, that bare inch of distance, said more than words could. "Cardi," he said again, softer now, "you know we just have misunderstandings sometimes. You can't keep letting other people get in your head about us." "She's not in my head," the fictional Cardi whispered. "You're the one who's been making me feel alone." The fictional Offset opened his mouth to defend himself, but the fictional Nicki didn't give him the chance. "You've been leaning on her too much," she said, voice steady. "Everything's about what you need, what you want, how she can help you. Do you ever stop and think about what she needs?" "You don't know anything about our relationship," he snapped. "And you don't know how obvious you are to everyone else," she shot back. The fictional Cardi looked between them, torn, overwhelmed, heart pounding loud enough that it felt like the whole room could hear. Her voice cracked as she said, "I can't keep pretending everything is fine." The fictional Offset turned to her, desperate now. "We can fix this. We always do." "Not if I'm the only one trying," she whispered. And with that, the room fell into a silence so thick it felt like the air stopped moving. The fictional Nicki watched closely, ready to step in if things escalated, while the fictional Offset stared at the fictional Cardi like he couldn't believe what he was hearing. Finally, he muttered, "You're really gonna do this right now? In front of her?" "I'm not doing anything," the fictional Cardi said. "I'm just telling the truth." The fictional Nicki placed a supportive hand on her shoulder, and that tiny gesture made the fictional Offset's jaw tighten. "Of course," he muttered bitterly. "Of course she's here." "I'm here," the fictional Nicki said calmly, "because you pushed her to the point where she needed someone to be." And that's where the emotional cliffhanger began, because the fictional Offset took a deep breath, looked at both of them, and said something that shifted the entire night in an unexpected direction, but what he said would ripple into the next phase of the drama. The room felt like it shrank the moment the fictional Offset inhaled sharply, his eyes flicking between the fictional Cardi and the fictional Nicki. Nobody knew what he would say next, but the weight of that silence pressed against everyone's chest like a heavy hand. Then, with a tone that was half accusation and half wounded pride, he said, "You think I'm using you? Is that what this is about? You think I'm some kind of leech?" The fictional Cardi's breath hitched. She'd been afraid of this exact moment, afraid of naming the fear that had been clawing at her for months. And now he had said the word himself, out loud, dragging it into the open. The fictional Nicki's expression didn't change, but her eyes sharpened, following every crack in his voice. "I didn't say that," the fictional Cardi whispered. "But you think it," the fictional Offset snapped. "And now she thinks it too." The fictional Nicki slowly leaned back, not looking away from him. "I don't need her to tell me anything. I see things. I hear things. People talk. You think nobody notices how you make everything about what Cardi can do for you? How you get defensive the second she wants something for herself?" He turned to her with a bitter laugh. Oh, so now you're her therapist? You hate me because you've hated me from day one. I don't hate you, the fictional Nicki said calmly. I just hate watching someone drain her spirit. The fictional Cardi's hands trembled as she pressed them against her knees. Stop, she whispered. Both of you, please stop. But neither of them stopped. Emotions were rising too fast, too hot, too uncontrolled. The fictional Offset pointed at the fictional Nicki. You don't know anything about the sacrifices I've made. Everything I do for my family. Do you? The fictional Nicki asked softly. Because from what I've heard, she's the one carrying everything while you act like you're doing her a favor just by existing. His shoulders tightened. You're twisting everything. I don't need to twist anything, the fictional Nicki replied. It's already crooked. The fictional Cardi felt her chest tighten as tears filled her eyes. She didn't want anyone to see her cry, but she couldn't hold everything in anymore. I feel like I'm suffocating, she confessed. And I don't even know how to explain it to you without you thinking I'm attacking you. That broke something. Not just in her, but in him too. The fictional Offset stepped forward slowly, hesitating like he wasn't sure if she would push him away. Cardi, he said softly, I don't want to lose you. The fictional Nicki shifted, about to speak again, but the fictional Cardi lifted her hand to stop her. For the first time that night, she had to speak without interference, without someone defending her or someone criticizing her. She needed to speak for herself. I don't want to lose you either, she admitted. But I'm losing myself. The fictional Offset swallowed hard. Then tell me what to do. Tell me what you want. I want you, she whispered, to stop making everything depend on me. I want you to have your own strength, your own drive, not just lean on mine. He looked down, shame flickering across his face. You think I'm weak? No, she said gently. I think you're scared. And when you're scared, you pull on me like I'm the only rope keeping you from falling. The fictional Nicki watched them closely. And though she wasn't smiling, there was a shift in her expression, as if she was proud of the fictional Cardi for saying the thing she had buried for so long. But the moment softened only briefly. Because the fictional Offset suddenly whispered, I'm scared of losing the only person who's ever really believed in me. That's why I hold on. Those words hit the fictional Cardi like a blow. Not because they were cruel, but because they were painfully honest. She wiped her eyes, trying to steady her voice. You don't have to hold on to me. You have to stand beside me. The fictional Offset's lips parted, but before he could answer, the door swung open and two of the fictional Cardi's friends entered, the fictional Mia and fictional Tanya, completely unaware of the emotional storm inside the room. The moment they saw the teary eyes and tense faces, they froze. Oh my God, the fictional Mia whispered. What happened? Why is everyone crying? We're not crying, the fictional Offset muttered, immediately defensive. The fictional Tanya raised an eyebrow. That's literally a tear on your cheek. He wiped it quickly, scowling. It's not. The fictional Nicki rolled her eyes. This is not the moment for your wounded pride. The fictional Cardi stood slowly, trying to regain some composure. It's fine, she told her friends. It's just stuff. Stuff? The fictional Mia repeated. Girl, this looks like the season finale of a reality show. The fictional Tanya leaned toward the fictional Nicki. Is he causing problems again? Tanya, the fictional Cardi warned softly, not wanting things to explode further. But the fictional Tanya didn't stop. No, because every time I see him, she's stressed. Every time she's upset, he's somewhere in the background looking guilty. The fictional Offset's face flushed red. Stay out of our business. Maybe I would, the fictional Tanya snapped, if you weren't always giving her reasons to cry. Enough, the fictional Cardi said, louder now, voice cracking. Everyone stop. Please. The room fell quiet again, but this time the silence was heavy with embarrassment, frustration, and exhaustion. The fictional Cardi looked at each person slowly. I appreciate all of you caring about me, but right now I need space. I need to think without everyone yelling, without everyone dragging their opinions into this. The fictional Nicki stepped forward gently. I'm not trying to control your decisions. You know that, right? I know, the fictional Cardi said softly. But I need to process everything. The fictional Offset exhaled shakily. Can we talk alone? The fictional Cardi hesitated, a long, painful hesitation, before shaking her head. Not right now. The fictional Offset closed his eyes like the answer physically hurt him. He nodded slowly, trying not to fall apart in front of everyone. Okay. I'll give you space. He walked out quietly, shoulders slumped in a way that surprised everyone, even the fictional Nicki. For a moment, nobody spoke. Even the air felt delicate, like it might shatter. Then the fictional Nicki whispered, I didn't mean to push too hard. You didn't, the fictional Cardi said. I needed to hear the truth. I just need time. The fictional Mia hugged her carefully, while the fictional Tanya rubbed her back, muttering curses under her breath about anyone who made her best friend cry. The fictional Nicki placed a gentle hand on the fictional Cardi's arm. You're stronger than you know. But you don't have to be strong alone. The fictional Cardi exhaled shakily, sinking into the couch. I just feel like no matter what I do, someone gets hurt. The fictional Nicki sat beside her. Sometimes the right choice hurts first. The night stretched on with quiet conversations, deep breaths, and comforting silence. The fictional Cardi replayed every moment in her mind, torn between loyalty and love, exhaustion and hope. She wasn't ready to walk away, but she wasn't ready to stay unchanged either. The fictional Nicki watched her, knowing the storm was far from over. Because while the fictional Cardi was trying to gather herself, the fictional Offset, outside in the parking lot, pulled out his phone. His hand shook as he dialed a number he knew he shouldn't call unless he was desperate. And desperate was exactly what he was. That call would set the stage for the next twist, the one nobody saw coming, the one that would shake the emotional foundations of everyone involved. Outside, the fictional Offset leaned against his car, phone pressed tightly to his ear. His voice trembled, low and urgent. We need to talk. It can't wait. On the other end, the voice was cautious, skeptical. Are you sure this is a good idea? He ran a hand through his hair, anxious. I have no choice. If I don't fix this, I'll lose everything. Inside, the fictional Cardi tried to distract herself, scrolling through her phone, but every notification felt like a hammer. Every buzz made her flinch. She knew that the emotional fallout from earlier wasn't over. She could feel it simmering, just beneath the surface, waiting to erupt again. The fictional Nicki sat beside her, silent but vigilant, like a sentinel guarding a fragile kingdom. She didn't push her to check her phone, didn't force words from her, she just let her breathe, let her sit in the storm without drowning. But the storm had a way of following you. Minutes later, a loud knock on the door startled everyone. The fictional Cardi jumped slightly, while the fictional Nicki's eyes narrowed. Who could it be now? She didn't expect anyone else, especially not in this moment. The door opened slowly, and the fictional Offset stepped in, his expression unreadable but tense. The room felt smaller, heavier, charged with electricity. We need to talk, he said, again. His voice carried that familiar desperation that made it impossible to be angry at him, yet impossible to fully trust him. The fictional Cardi looked at him, weary. We already talked, she said quietly. And I told you, I need space. He stepped closer. I called because I realized something, and I need to be honest. I can't keep doing this to you. I've been selfish, and he paused, struggling to find the words, I've leaned on you too much. The fictional Nicki, standing nearby, crossed her arms but stayed silent. She had been expecting some kind of revelation, but the truth spilling out like this still caught her off guard. She could see the fictional Cardi's eyes glisten with tears again, a mixture of relief and lingering hurt. It's taken me losing a little control over everything for me to realize that, the fictional Offset continued. I need to do better. For you. For me. For us, he let the words hang in the air, heavy with emotion. The fictional Cardi blinked, trying to process it. Part of her wanted to throw her arms around him and say it was okay. Part of her wanted to scream, tell him it wasn't enough. You can't just decide that now, she said finally, her voice trembling. You've been here before, and every time it feels like I'm the one who suffers. I know, he whispered. And I'm sorry. Truly. This time, I want to fix it. I don't want to lean on you. I want to stand with you. Her heart wanted to believe him, but experience made her hesitate. She glanced at the fictional Nicki, who gave her a subtle nod of encouragement. Nicki wasn't pushing her, she was just saying without words, you deserve to listen, to evaluate, to choose for yourself. Then, in a move nobody expected, the fictional Offset reached into his pocket and pulled out a small notebook. He opened it, showing pages filled with detailed plans, thoughts, and strategies, everything he had been working on to prove he could be independent, reliable, and supportive without draining her energy. The fictional Cardi's jaw dropped. You actually planned this? She asked incredulously. Every word, he said softly. I didn't want to surprise you with empty promises again. I wanted to show you that I mean this, that I can change. The fictional Nicki stepped forward, her eyes locked on the pages. I have to admit, this is impressive. But it doesn't erase the past, she paused. It shows effort, but effort alone won't fix a pattern. He nodded solemnly. I know. That's why I wanted her to see this, not to erase the past, but to start a future differently. The fictional Cardi's hands trembled as she held the notebook, flipping through the pages. She saw carefully outlined plans, schedules, lists of personal goals, even therapy sessions he intended to attend to better himself. It was more than she expected, and yet, doubt lingered in her chest. Could someone truly change? Could someone who had leaned so heavily on her finally stand on their own without hurting her in the process? This is a lot, she said softly, almost to herself. I don't know if I can just trust it. I'm not asking you to, the fictional Offset said quietly. I'm asking you to watch, to see, to let me prove it. Not in words, not in promises, in actions. For a moment, the room was utterly silent. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. Then, without warning, the fictional Cardi's phone buzzed. It was a message from a mutual friend who had been monitoring the situation from afar. Are you seeing this? People are losing their minds online. Fans are shocked, everyone's talking about what's happening. The fictional Cardi felt a strange mix of irritation and amusement. The world was watching her private pain like it was a television drama. She looked at the fictional Nicki and whispered, they're going to make it a headline. Can you believe it? Nicki chuckled softly. Let them. You focus on what's real, not what they say. But reality had a way of complicating itself. As if on cue, another figure entered, the fictional Cardi's sister, known in this universe as fictional Anya. She looked furious, eyebrows drawn tight. What is going on in here? She demanded, eyes darting between the fictional Cardi and the fictional Offset. Why are you crying, Cardi? Why is he here? Anya, the fictional Cardi said gently, please, just, let me handle this. Handle this? Anya's voice cracked. Handle this? I see him making you miserable every time I turn around, and you just, sit there? And Nicki, you're involved too? What the hell is happening? The fictional Nicki held up her hands in surrender. We're just trying to help her see the truth, she said calmly. The truth? Anya shouted. The truth is he's been a leech for months. You know it, I know it, and Cardi, don't tell me you don't feel it too. The fictional Cardi flinched at the word, but she also felt a strange clarity. Maybe this confrontation, this raw honesty, was exactly what she needed. She took a deep breath. Anya, maybe he's trying to change. Maybe I need to see if he really can. Anya's face softened slightly, but the fire didn't leave her eyes. Fine, she said slowly. But if he hurts you again, I swear, he'll regret it. The fictional Offset's jaw tightened. He looked at her, then at the fictional Cardi. "I won't," he promised. "I'll prove it. You'll see." The tension in the room began to shift. It didn't vanish, it didn't evaporate instantly, but the explosive confrontation was now tempered with the possibility of reconciliation. Everyone seemed to understand, in that quiet, heavy moment, that the coming days would be crucial, full of tests, temptations, and emotional turbulence. And yet, just when it felt like the storm might settle, a new complication arose. The fictional Cardi's phone buzzed again. This time, it wasn't a message from a friend. It was a leaked screenshot from someone claiming to have inside knowledge of the fictional Offset's past dealings, the very things that had made her question him for months. Fans online were starting to spread it, and the screenshot painted a picture of betrayal, dependency, and rumors of manipulation. The fictional Cardi's stomach dropped. She felt panic rising, a mix of fear and anger. She turned to the fictional Nicki. "What if this is true?" she whispered. "What if all of this effort, it's just a show?" Nicki placed a steadying hand on her shoulder. "Then we handle it. But we don't assume the worst before we see the full story. People will try to drag you into drama. You decide how much power you give them." The fictional Offset, seeing the panic in her eyes, stepped closer. "Look at me," he said softly. "I'm not asking you to believe rumors. I'm asking you to believe what you see in real life, what I'm doing right now, what I'm showing you." And in that moment, the fictional Cardi realized the battle wasn't just about trust. It was about perception, influence, and the way outside voices tried to control her narrative. She had to decide whether she would let the storm dictate her actions, or whether she would take control of her own story. The night ended with tentative understanding, but the tension lingered. Fans online were losing their minds, the fictional Cardi circle was buzzing with concern, and the fictional Offset's commitment was now under a microscope. No one left that room unchanged. Every glance, every word, every tear had shifted the balance of their universe. And just when it seemed like things might settle, a message popped up on the fictional Nicki's phone. It was cryptic, threatening, and hinted at secrets from the past that nobody in the room could have anticipated. This twist would set the stage for Part 4, where loyalties, betrayals, and shocking revelations would come to a head. The cryptic message on the fictional Nicki's phone glowed like a warning. She hesitated, fingers hovering over the screen. The message read, "Not everything is as it seems. Some people aren't who they say they are. Watch carefully." No signature, no context, just a chilling hint that the emotional storm was far from over. She looked up at the fictional Cardi, whose eyes were already wide with anxiety. "What is it?" Cardi asked softly, trying not to sound panicked. Nicki swallowed hard. Someone is trying to manipulate this entire situation. We need to be careful." The fictional Cardi felt her chest tighten. She had thought the hardest part was dealing with the fictional Offset's past behavior, his dependency, his moments of selfishness. But now, with this unknown interference, it felt like the ground beneath her feet had completely shifted. "You mean, someone's trying to make me doubt him?" she asked. Nicki nodded slowly. "Or make him look worse than he is. Either way, it's dangerous." The fictional Offset noticed their tension and stepped forward. "What's going on?" he asked. Seeing the phone in Nicki's hand, he immediately paled. "Someone's playing games," he said, voice tight. "I swear, I haven't told anyone anything personal." "I don't know how this is happening." Cardi looked at him skeptically. "How do I know I can trust you?" she asked. The words weren't harsh, just raw, fragile, teetering on the edge of desperation. He took a deep breath. "Because I'm standing here. I'm not running. I'm not hiding. And I'll prove it to you." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small voice recorder. "I've been documenting everything, therapy sessions, my plans, my daily progress. You don't have to believe me blindly. You can see for yourself." The fictional Cardi stared, the reality of his commitment slowly sinking in. It was one thing to say words, another to show action. Nikki's eyes softened, seeing the subtle shift in her friend's expression. She whispered, maybe this is the first real step toward balance. But the moment of hope was fragile. A knock at the door shattered it. Everyone froze. The door opened, revealing the fictional Mia and Tanya again, this time accompanied by a new figure, a mysterious woman with sharp eyes and an air of authority, clearly someone used to getting what she wanted. The fictional Cardi tensed immediately. Who is she? She asked. The woman's lips curled into a slight, knowing smile. Let's just say, I'm someone who has been watching this saga for a long time, she said, voice calm but piercing. And I think it's time someone told the real story. The fictional Offset's jaw tightened. What do you mean? He asked, defensively. The mysterious woman stepped closer, her gaze sweeping over the group. The stories you've been hearing, the screenshots, the accusations, they're only part of the truth. Some people want you to fight each other, to fracture your trust, to spill private pain into the public. And it's working. The fictional Cardi felt her stomach churn. So, who sent the message? She asked. The woman's eyes flickered toward the fictional Nicki. It wasn't me, she said, but whoever did wants to see the three of you crumble. Nicki, you've always been a stabilizing force, but even you can't prevent everything. Nicki nodded slowly, feeling the weight of her role. We'll handle it, she said. We have to. The fictional Cardi looked at the fictional Offset, torn between hope and fear. How do I know I'm not being manipulated too? She asked softly. The fictional Offset reached out, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Because I'm letting you see everything. I'm not asking you to believe rumors. I'm asking you to see me. And then, chaos erupted. The mysterious woman's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and her eyes widened. Oh no, she whispered. They've already leaked more. It's worse than I thought. The fictional Cardi groaned, grabbing her face. I can't deal with this, she muttered. It's too much. Nicki put a hand on her shoulder. You can deal with it, she said firmly. You're not alone. Even if everyone else tries to manipulate you, you have your own mind, your own instincts, your own strength. The fictional Offset added, and I'll be right here, no matter what. No games, no lies, just action. Cardi's eyes softened, but the lingering fear of betrayal still hung over her like a storm cloud. As if on cue, another interruption arrived, this time from social media. The fans had noticed the small gathering and the visible tension. Screenshots, rumors, and speculative videos were already trending. Hashtags exploded across multiple platforms, hashtag Cardi Nicki drama, hashtag Offset exposed, hashtag fans in shock. The fictional Cardi groaned, burying her face in her hands. They're making everything worse, she whispered. Why can't anything stay private? Nicki's voice was calm but firm. Because that's how the world works. But you control your response. You decide what matters. We don't have to react to the chaos. The fictional Offset nodded. We deal with it together. You're not fighting alone anymore. Suddenly, the mysterious woman stepped closer to the fictional Cardi. And don't forget, she said softly, the people closest to you can also be the ones who hurt you most, whether intentionally or not. Choose carefully who gets your trust. Cardi's eyes widened. She felt the weight of every word. Nicki squeezed her hand. And that's why I'm here. To make sure you choose wisely. For a long moment, silence fell. Even the background noise of fans, phones, and whispers seemed to pause, allowing them a rare moment of clarity. The fictional Cardi looked at the fictional Offset, then at Nicki, then at the mysterious woman. Her voice was low but steady. I don't know what will happen next. I don't know who's trustworthy. But I know I'm not walking away from what I feel. The fictional Offset stepped closer, gently taking her hand. Then we face it together, he said. Every leak, every rumor, every dramatic twist. Together. The mysterious woman smiled faintly. Sometimes, watching a storm reveals the truth about people. I'll be observing, but don't let me scare you. The real test is how you all act when the world is watching. The night stretched on, tension still thick in the air, but something had shifted. Alliances were forming, truths were being acknowledged, and for the first time, the fictional Cardi felt a glimmer of control over her own story. Nicki stayed close, protective yet unobtrusive, allowing her to take the lead. The fictional Offset had shown vulnerability, a willingness to act, and the mysterious woman's warning reminded them all that vigilance was crucial. Yet just as everyone thought they could breathe, a final twist hit. An anonymous package arrived at the door, addressed to the fictional Cardi. The envelope contained a single note, written in sharp, elegant handwriting. Not everyone in your circle has your best interests at heart. Trust your instincts. No signature. No explanation. Just a warning that the drama was far from over. The fictional Cardi's hands shook as she held the note. Nicki looked over her shoulder, expression grim. "This is just the beginning," she said. "The next moves you make will define everything." The fictional Offset, standing beside her, nodded. "Then we make them together. No secrets. No lies. Just truth and action." As the camera metaphorically pans out from the room, the scene is tense yet charged with anticipation. The storm outside mirrors the chaos inside, but the three of them, Cardi, Nicki, and Offset, are now united in a fragile alliance, ready to face betrayal, public scrutiny, and emotional upheaval. The fans online are watching every move, emotions ran high, and the family was left divided yet cautiously hopeful. The stage is set for explosive revelations, dramatic confrontations, and shocking decisions that could either tear them apart or cement a bond stronger than any rumor or leak. This is the moment where everything hangs in balance. The drama is at its peak, and no one can predict what will happen next, except that it will be wild, emotional, and utterly unforgettable. And just like that, the drama is far from over. The fictional Cardi, Nicki, and Offset are standing at the edge of a storm that has fans glued to every update, every leaked screenshot, every whispered conversation. Questions swirl like wildfire. Will the fictional Offset prove he can truly change, or is he just putting on a show for the cameras and the fans? Will the fictional Cardi finally take control of her story, or will the outside chaos pull her back into heartbreak? And what role does the mysterious woman play, friend, foe, or the ultimate puppet master in a game nobody expected? One thing is certain, emotions ran high, alliances were tested, and the family was left divided. Every decision from here on out could ignite a new wave of controversy, betrayal, or unexpected reconciliation. Fans are shocked, social media is on fire, and the entire hip-hop universe is holding its breath, waiting to see what happens next. Now it's your turn to weigh in. What do you think? Is the fictional Offset capable of real change, or is this just another dramatic performance? Should the fictional Cardi trust him again, or protect herself at all costs? And how far will Nicki go to support her friend while keeping her own instincts sharp? Drop your opinions in the comments, share your theories, and let the conversation explode. If you want to stay updated on every shocking twist, every emotional confrontation, and every secret that comes to light in this saga, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss a single moment. The story is only getting more intense, and you won't want to be left out of the chaos. Buckle up, because the drama is just beginning, and the next chapter promises to be even more explosive than you could ever imagine.